The following Nasdaq Behind the Bell podcast was recorded live at the 2017 NRF Annual Convention and Expo, retail's big show at the Jacob K. Javits Convention Center in New York City. Here are your Nasdaq hosts, Bradley Smith and Josh Matches.
Hey everybody, we are back at it live again from the NRF Innovation Lab. I'm Brad.
And I'm Josh.
And you're listening to the Behind the Bell podcast. Typically we do this live from the Nasdaq market site, but today we're on site here at the Javits Center, and we're surrounded by some amazing entrepreneurs, professionals, and innovators, pure innovators here. So it's amazing to see some of the on-site products and some of the different labs that are going on right now. And now we're joined by Leif Jentoft, who is the co-founder of RightHand Robotics. Leif, great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Absolutely. Tell us, just to kick things off, about RightHand Robotics. How did it get its start?
So, as a company, we do order picking robots. Mm-hmm. So these are robots that handle individual items for e-commerce or split case distribution. Mm-hmm. The company itself started off, we were in a DARPA challenge back in 2010 at the Robotics lab at Harvard. Wow. They were interested in understanding how do you have a more effective robot that can handle rough, irregular things off for doing IED disposal. Mm-hmm. And so we realized that if you had a soft hand, you've got good sensor feedback from that, you can handle things that are outside of the really rigid structure that you have in a factory. And so as we studied the system, we were classic DARPA thing. You've got a bunch of money and no time. You're competing with two other teams for the same thing. You don't know if you're going to have it continue through the next session. We were working with two teams out of Stanford and ended up actually being lucky enough to win the whole competition.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So,
So did you meet your co-founders at Harvard or through the competition?
So we met actually at the, during the competition, it was a collaboration between the Robotics lab, where I was and my co-founder Yaro was, and our third co-founder, Lyle Odner, was down in research faculty at Yale.
Wow.
And so we ended up having this team and did really well and spun out from there.
Tell you what, it's not a bad position to be in research faculty at any of these major institutions, especially because you get to be around some of the brightest minds and then kind of recognize when there's a great piece of innovation that they're working on and be able to assist with that. And especially from a historical and experience perspective, they can weigh in and say, hey guys, I don't know if this is going to work because of X, Y, and Z. So from an entrepreneurial perspective, how did you find that journey really kind of shaping up and this whole company coming into fruition then?
So they say you should always hire people that are smarter than yourself. I think we've been really, really lucky to do so. Lyle's the smartest engineer I've ever met. And we've got a very, very good team overall. It's been nice being based in Boston because you got a very good talent pool from all the local universities. And unlike Silicon Valley, they don't all leave for Facebook after a few months. And so it's been really a great place to try and build a robotics company. You've got a number of other very successful companies in the area, iRobot, other ones. There's a pretty good standing talent pool. And as a result, people have worked together in the past. As you're trying to scale out the team, you end up having a group of quality people that are pre-vetted, people that you're able to work well with, and people are really, really smart and know how to deliver. So it's been a great place to try and build a company.
Yeah. And so who are some of the companies that are looking to use your technology?
So our technology is really useful for either e-commerce or split case distribution. And so all the big companies right now are trying to understand how do you navigate this shift from warehouses that work at a case level to warehouses that work at a piece level. Mm-hmm. And challenge with the piece level is that it's much, much more labor intensive than the old ways of doing things. Right. And so you look at a lot of the large pharmaceutical distributors, health and beauty product distributors, people doing consumer packaged goods, all of them are talking to us.
Yeah. And how does RightHand elevate the commerce experience for them?
So the big thing is that people want to have the right goods faster. And so if I'm a warehouse, I'm trying to ship things out on a really tight time schedule. And if I'm a store, especially a small footprint store in the middle of a city, I don't want to try and take a whole case of something that sold yesterday. I want to have the 3 toothbrushes and 1 bottle of shampoo. So as retail moves faster and faster and faster, you've got to have more granular distribution, smaller shipments more quickly. That means that upstream you've got to be handling things at a piece level rather than at a case level. Our technology is what enables that.
So, and I checked out you guys' the demonstrations that have been going on, which looks amazing. I mean, we're looking at it from here, and you know, it's mind-boggling to think that there are so many brands that could be using this to make sure that their processing that order fulfillment that much more efficiently. How did you even come to the point where you realized, this is how things needed to be picked up in certain product quantities and product types and packaging? All that comes into play with this.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of market research. So we see a lot of companies moving out in the robotics space where they've got a cool idea. They think, hey, we're going to build this and everyone's going to want it. It's not the way the world works. And so when we spooled out the company, we had 3 PhDs in robotics. 2 of us shifted full-time to doing business, knocking on warehouse doors, trying to talk our way into whatever we could talk our way into, and trying to see what are the actual tasks that people are trying to perform, and what are the variations. And so as robots are moving from something that's in a limited factory environment to a much more wider application, knowing what parts of the problem are important is really critical to having the whole system work well.
Amazing.
So the robot you have here is doing an incredible job of picking different products. What's next? How are you going to, what's the next phase of enhancing these robots to be better, and what's the next version of this going to be?
So we talk as quality of picking is really about 3 R's. It's about the range of items you can pick, it's about the rate at which you can pick them, and reliability with which you can do that picking.
What's the reliability right now?
So typical warehouse, you're looking at about a 99.95% accuracy rate. And this is really, really important because if you ship the wrong product, you're losing the full lifetime value of the customer often for an e-commerce order because you don't have someone with smooth sales skills to smooth it over. And so our robots are picking at that same rate. And so you use several stages of validation. There's a bunch of sensory feedback that's involved in that. But that's been one of the really exciting things is you take something that's research technology and harden it out and have it be doing real tasks in the real world. It takes a lot of work, but we're there.
Absolutely. And bonus points to you and the team for the 3 R's. That's alliteration. Anytime that can be infused, I like it. So what does growth look like for you guys over this next year, 18 months out?
So the big things are we'll be having reference things coming online where we've been working with a number of companies all under NDA. And as these systems are delivering the results that they need, we'll be starting to have case studies coming out. And so for us, as that happens, the warehouse industry is very conservative. No one was ever fired for hiring IBM. And so as we see robots becoming more and more and more prevalent, and you see many different robotic systems here, that's going to change the way the whole industry works. Marketing teams are starting to understand, well, if I had a way of doing easy kitting, I could use this here, I could use it there, I could use it the other place. They're starting to realize, well, if I had faster shipping, this is what I could do to change the customer experience. And you stop thinking about the logistics back end as a cost center, and you start thinking of it as a strategic capability.
Completely. I mean, it seems like right now nobody thinks that this is something they could even potentially rely on in retail.
Oh yeah, and this technology is here now.
Are you kidding? I'd like to rely on this in my house like every day.
Exactly. Pick out everything.
This is what you're wearing today. Done deal. And I'm there. So, you gave us kind of the outlook. How big is the team that you're even working with right now?
So we're about 20 people at the moment.
Wow, okay.
What's the cost of one of these robots?
Yeah.
So typically you look at a warehouse staff in the U.S. is $30,000 to $40,000. If you imagine that you're trying to do the value of 2 to 3 shifts, you're looking at about $100,000 of value a year. We can charge it at a fraction of that on a subscription model.
Wow.
And so it's really important in the industry. You want to deliver a 2-year ROI. We're well within that. And as a result, you're able to actually deploy the systems.
Amazing. Well, great to have you here, Leif, and we'll be stopping by the booth in a couple moments as well. But thanks for joining us here on Behind the Bell.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. And thank you all for listening. Stay tuned. We've got more coming from the NRF Innovation Lab. Talk to you soon.